Welcome to Empathy Stories, where heartfelt narratives inspire and connect us all. Today, we invite you to journey with Michael and Sarah as their paths cross on a snowy Christmas Eve, revealing the profound power of love, empathy, and meaningful connections. Sit back and let their story touch your heart. In the heart of Chicago, where the skyline pierced the heavens and the city never seemed to sleep, stood the towering edifice of Carter Innovations. From its glass panel windows, Michael Carter, the 35-year-old CEO, gazed out over the sprawling metropolis. The city below shimmered with 1,000 lights, each one a testament to dreams pursued and lives intertwined. Yet, for Michael, this breathtaking view was a bittersweet reminder of his own solitude. Michael had meticulously built Carter Innovations from the ground up. What began as a modest tech startup had blossomed into a formidable empire, renowned for its cutting-edge innovations and unwavering commitment to excellence. His name was synonymous with success, a beacon for aspiring entrepreneurs and a source of envy for his peers. Boardrooms and conferences echoed with his ideas, and his presence commanded respect wherever he went. Yet, behind the polished facade of designer suits and the strategic mind lay a man wrestling with an overwhelming sense of emptiness. As the holiday season approached, the festive spirit that enveloped Chicago only seemed to magnify Michael's isolation. Christmas, a time traditionally associated with joy, family, and togetherness, felt like a stark contrast to his reality. The lobby of Carter Innovations was adorned with twinkling lights and festive decorations, and soft Christmas melodies played in the background. Employees bustled about, exchanging holiday greetings and planning celebrations. But Michael remained ensconced in his high-rise office, a solitary figure amidst the cheer. His desk, a sleek expanse of mahogany, was meticulously organized, reflecting his disciplined nature. Yet, as he clasped a glass of red wine, the bitterness of the drink mirrored the void he felt inside. The success he had achieved brought accolades and admiration, but it had also erected invisible walls around him, walls that few could penetrate. 3 past relationships had left scars, each one a reminder of the fragility of trust and the pain of emotional vulnerability. The women who had entered his life were often captivated by his success, drawn to the allure of being associated with Michael Carter. But beneath the surface, they found a man who was increasingly disconnected, someone who struggled to let his guard down and reveal his true self. It was in this state of quiet despair that Jake Collins, Michael's oldest friend, decided to intervene. Jake was the antithesis of Michael, gregarious, grounded, and perpetually optimistic. Their friendship, forged in the trenches of early career struggles, had weathered countless storms. Jake had always possessed a keen sense of when Michael needed a nudge, a push to step out of his comfort zone and embrace the unpredictability of life. That evening, as the city lights began to twinkle against the dusk, there was a soft knock on Michael's office door. The sound was gentle, yet it carried an urgency that made Michael glance up from his contemplation. The door swung open to reveal Jake, his face alight with his characteristic teasing smile. In his hands, he carried 2 steaming cups of coffee, the rich aroma filling the room and momentarily cutting through the tension that clung to the air. "Why are you sulking here?" Jake asked, placing a cup beside Michael's glass. His presence was a balm, a reminder of the camaraderie they shared beyond the confines of corporate success. Michael offered a weak smile, the weight of his burdens evident in his eyes. "I'm tired of it all. Jake, work, projects, fake relationships, it all feels meaningless." Jake leaned against the edge of the desk, his eyes twinkling with mischief. "Maybe it's time to try something different." Michael raised an eyebrow, skepticism etched on his face. "Like what?" "A blind date," Jake declared, his grin widening. "No pressure, no expectations. Just dinner with someone new. Who knows? You might meet someone interesting." Michael chuckled softly, shaking his head. The idea of a blind date seemed almost ludicrous to him, a stark departure from his controlled, meticulously planned existence. A blind date? You can't be serious. Jake's insistence was unwavering. Look, if it's terrible, you've only lost a couple of hours. What if it's not? You might just find something you didn't even know you were missing. There was a long pause as Michael weighed the proposition. The uncertainty of it all was unsettling, a territory he was unaccustomed to navigating. Yet, beneath the surface, a flicker of curiosity was ignited. Maybe, just maybe, Jake was right. Perhaps it was time to dismantle the walls he had so carefully constructed around himself. After a deep sigh, Michael finally conceded. Fine, just one evening. Jake's grin widened, a victorious spark in his eyes. That's the spirit. Trust me, you won't regret it. As Jake left the office, Michael found himself staring out once more at the city lights, the vast expanse of Chicago stretching out before him. He had no inkling that this seemingly small decision would set him on a path that would alter the course of his life in ways he could never have anticipated. The thought lingered as he took another sip of his wine, the bitterness now underscored by a hint of hope. In the solitude of his office, Michael began to reflect on the emptiness that success had brought him. The accolades, the wealth, the influence, they were hollow without meaningful connections to fill the void. The festive season, meant to be a time of warmth and togetherness, had only highlighted his isolation. But perhaps, through this blind date, there was a chance to rediscover what he had been missing all along. As the night deepened and the city settled into its nocturnal rhythm, Michael felt a sense of anticipation he hadn't experienced in years. The invitation to step into the unknown, to embrace vulnerability and potential, was both daunting and exhilarating. Little did he know, this Christmas Eve would mark the beginning of a profound journey, one that would teach him the true essence of love, empathy, and the connections that give life its deepest meaning. In a quieter corner of Chicago, nestled away from the relentless pace of downtown, stood Sunny Meadows Orphanage. The building, though modest in size, radiated a warmth that contrasted sharply with the often cold and indifferent world outside. Inside, Sarah Williams moved with purpose and grace, her presence a beacon of hope for the children who called Sunny Meadows their temporary home. Sarah had dedicated the past 3 years of her life to ensuring that every child under her care felt safe, loved, and valued. Her days began before dawn and stretched long into the night, filled with the sounds of laughter, the rustle of bedtime stories, and the occasional tear of a child in need. She was more than a manager. She was a mother, a mentor, and a steadfast pillar in a world that so often felt unstable and unforgiving. From the outside, Sunny Meadows might have seemed like just another orphanage, but to Sarah and the children, it was a sanctuary. She believed deeply in the power of kindness and the importance of nurturing each child's unique potential. Every morning, she greeted the children with a smile that could light up the darkest of days, her eyes reflecting a genuine compassion that made them feel truly seen and heard. Sarah's commitment went beyond the basic necessities of food and shelter. She organized creative activities, from art classes that allowed the children to express their emotions to sports that taught teamwork and resilience. She listened patiently to their stories, offering comfort and encouragement, and always found ways to celebrate their achievements. No matter how small, her office, a small room at the end of the hall, was adorned with drawings and letters from the children, each one a testament to the love and care she poured into her work. Despite her unwavering dedication, Sarah often found herself neglecting her own needs and desires. Her personal life had taken a back seat to the responsibilities of managing Sunny Meadows. Friends and family had long expressed concern over her relentless selflessness, urging her to find balance and pursue her own happiness. Among them, her best friend Emily Davis stood out as a constant source of support and gentle persuasion. Emily, with her vibrant personality and infectious optimism, had been Sarah's confidant for years. She admired Sarah's dedication, but worried about the toll it was taking on her friend's well-being. One chilly evening in late November, As snow began to blanket the city in a serene white, Emily decided it was time to intervene. She arrived at Sunny Meadows with a mischievous twinkle in her eye and an envelope clasped firmly in her hand. Sarah was in her office, meticulously organizing paperwork and planning the next day's activities. The sight of Emily brought a much-needed smile to her face, a fleeting moment of respite from her endless responsibilities. "Sarah, we need to talk," Emily announced, her tone both playful and earnest as she took a seat across from Sarah's desk. Sarah looked up, her tired eyes meeting Emily's bright gaze. "If you're trying to convince me to join another one of your spontaneous adventures, you know I'm going to say no," she replied with a weary chuckle. Emily rolled her eyes affectionately. I know, but hear me out this time. This isn't about another night out. It's something different." Curiosity piqued. Sarah set aside her work and gave Emily her full attention. "All right, you have my attention. What is it?" Emily slid the envelope across the desk, her expression softening. "This isn't just any night out. I've set up a blind date for you." Sarah's eyes widened in disbelief, her mind racing to process the unexpected proposal. "A blind date? Emily, I don't have time for this. The children need me, and my work never ends." Understanding the weight of her friend's hesitation, Emily leaned forward, her voice gentle yet persuasive. "I'm not asking you to commit to anything. Just one dinner. No strings attached. No expectations. It's about you taking a little time for yourself, experiencing something different for a change." Sarah sighed, her fingers lightly brushing the envelope as doubt flickered in her mind. She had spent so long building walls around her heart, walls that had kept her safe from the pain of past disappointments, but had also kept potential happiness at bay. The idea of opening herself up, even just for one evening, felt both terrifying and enticing. "Emily, relationships, they're not something I can just jump into. I have too much on my plate already," Sarah confessed, her voice tinged with vulnerability. Emily's smile was warm and knowing. "I'm not asking you to get married or make any big decisions. Just dinner. You give so much of yourself to everyone else. Sarah, it's time someone gave a little back to you." The sincerity in Emily's eyes was hard to ignore. She had always been the one to push Sarah out of her comfort zone, gently encouraging her to seek the happiness she so readily gave to others. After a long moment of contemplation, Sarah felt a small spark of hope ignite within her. "All right," she agreed softly, her reluctance giving way to a cautious optimism. "Just this once." Emily's face lit up with a triumphant smile. "That's the spirit. Trust me, you won't regret it." As Emily left the orphanage, Sarah remained seated, the envelope resting in her hands. The snow continued to fall outside, each flake adding to the quiet beauty of the night. For the first time in a long while, Sarah felt a flicker of curiosity and anticipation. Perhaps, through this blind date, she could rediscover a part of herself that she had long neglected. In the solitude of her office, Sarah reflected on the sacrifices she had made and the emotional barriers she had erected to protect herself. Her life was defined by giving, and while it brought immense fulfillment, it also left little room for personal happiness. The holiday season, with its emphasis on togetherness and love, underscored the void she felt within. But tonight, as she held the envelope that Emily had given her, there was a glimmer of something new hope. It was a reminder that amidst the selflessness and dedication, there was still room for her own joy and connection. Little did she know, this simple act of stepping out of her comfort zone would set her on a path towards healing and unexpected love, intertwining her life with someone she had never imagined meeting. As the night deepened and the orphanage settled into its peaceful slumber, Sarah felt a sense of anticipation she hadn't experienced in years. The invitation to embrace vulnerability and potential was both daunting and exhilarating. Unbeknownst to her, this Christmas Eve would mark the beginning of a transformative journey, one that would teach her the true essence of love, empathy, and the profound connections that give life its deepest meaning. Christmas Eve in Chicago was a night transformed by snow. the city streets cloaked in a pristine white blanket that softened the usual sharp edges of urban life. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine and the distant hum of holiday festivities. Within this magical setting, a small, cozy restaurant in Lincoln Park awaited two strangers whose lives were about to intertwine in unexpected ways. Michael Carter arrived punctually, his tailored suit impeccable, yet his demeanor betrayed a hint of nervousness. The decision to go on a blind date, though suggested by his ever-optimistic friend Jake, felt like a leap into the unknown. The restaurant, with its exposed brick walls and flickering candlelight, exuded warmth and intimacy, a stark contrast to the sterile, impersonal environment of his corporate world. As he stepped inside, the soft melodies of holiday music enveloped him, creating an atmosphere of calm and possibility. Seated by the window, Michael scanned the room, his eyes briefly meeting those of the woman who would become the center of his evening. Sarah Williams sat alone, her green dress simple yet elegant, her dark brown hair framing her face with a natural grace. She watched the snowflakes dance outside, her thoughtful gaze reflecting a quiet strength and kindness. When their eyes met, Sarah offered a warm, genuine smile that immediately eased some of Michael's apprehension. "Hi, I'm Michael," he introduced himself, extending a hand. "Sarah," she replied, shaking his hand with a gentle firmness. Her presence was both comforting and intriguing, drawing Michael into a space where his usual defenses began to soften. They settled into their seats, the initial silence filled with a delicate tension that slowly gave way to conversation. Michael found himself talking about his work, the pressures of running Carter Innovations, and the hollow victories that accompanied his success. Sarah listened intently, her empathy evident in her attentive posture and the thoughtful expressions that occasionally crossed her face. As the evening progressed, the conversation naturally shifted to more personal territories. Sarah shared stories from Sunny Meadows Orphanage, her eyes lighting up with passion as she recounted moments of joy and the challenges she faced. Michael was captivated not just by her words, but by the sincerity and warmth with which she spoke. He realized how much he had been missing in his own life: meaningful connections and genuine understanding. Their shared vulnerabilities created a bridge between them, fostering a deep emotional bond. Michael spoke of his loneliness, the relentless pursuit of success that left little room for personal happiness. Sarah, in turn, revealed her fears of losing herself in her selfless dedication, the wall she had built to protect her heart from potential pain. In each other, they found a kindred spirit, someone who understood the complexities of their emotional landscapes. As the night drew to a close, Michael hesitated before suggesting, "Would you like to take a walk with me?" Sarah's smile widened, a reflection of the hope blossoming within her. "I'd love to," stepping out into the snowy streets. They walked side by side, the cold air invigorating their spirits. The city, adorned with festive lights and decorated storefronts, seemed to celebrate their newfound connection. They strolled through Lincoln Park, the snow crunching softly under their feet, their breaths visible in the chilly night air. For Michael, this walk was a revelation. The weight he had carried for so long began to lift, replaced by a sense of possibility and warmth he hadn't felt in years. Sarah's presence was a balm to his weary soul, her genuine kindness igniting a spark of hope and happiness. "Thank you," Michael whispered, the sincerity in his voice reflecting the depth of his gratitude. "I didn't realize how much I needed this." Sarah's eyes softened, her heart opening to the possibility of something real and lasting. Sometimes, it takes one moment to remind us of what we've been missing. As they continued their walk, the snowflakes continued to fall, each one a symbol of new beginnings and the beauty of unexpected connections. That Christmas Eve marked not just a blind date, but the beginning of a profound journey for both Michael and Sarah. In the weeks that followed, their bond only grew stronger. Michael began visiting Sunny Meadows Orphanage, finding joy in the simple yet meaningful interactions with the children. He rolled up his sleeves to help with repairs, played games, and listened to the stories that the children eagerly shared. These moments of genuine connection grounded him, offering a stark contrast to the superficial relationships he had previously experienced. Sarah, too, found solace and happiness in Michael's presence. His willingness to be vulnerable and authentic resonated deeply with her, breaking down the walls she had long kept in place. Together, they discovered a partnership built on mutual respect, trust, and a shared desire to create a better world for themselves and for those around them. One crisp February evening, as they walked through the snow-dusted streets hand in hand, Michael took a moment to express his feelings. "You've shown me what truly matters: connection, kindness, and love," he said softly, his eyes meeting Sarah's with unwavering sincerity. "You've helped me see that it's okay to let someone in." Sarah smiled, her eyes shining with emotion. "And you've shown me that it's possible to find joy and support without losing myself. Together, we can create something beautiful." In that quiet moment, under the twinkling lights and amidst the gentle snowfall, Michael and Sarah knew they had found something real and enduring. Their lives, once marked by loneliness and sacrifice, were now intertwined in a way that felt natural and right. Their journey was a testament to the power of taking chances, embracing vulnerability, and cherishing the meaningful connections that bring true fulfillment. Their story serves as a poignant reminder that amidst the chaos and demands of life, it is the bonds we form with others that give our lives lasting meaning. Through love, empathy, and shared experiences, Michael and Sarah discovered that true happiness lies not in wealth or success, but in the connections that nurture our hearts and souls. Through the journeys of Michael Carter and Sarah Williams, we uncover profound lessons about the human heart and the essence of true fulfillment. Michael, a successful CEO, embodies the pursuit of external achievements while grappling with internal emptiness. His story teaches us that success and wealth, though admirable, cannot replace the warmth of genuine human connections. It is only by allowing himself to be vulnerable and open to new experiences that Michael discovers the true meaning of happiness and belonging. Sarah Williams, on the other hand, represents unwavering selflessness and dedication. Her life at Sunny Meadows Orphanage highlights the beauty and strength found in self-sacrifice. However, Sarah's journey reveals that neglecting one's own needs can lead to emotional isolation. Her willingness to step out of her comfort zone and embrace the possibility of personal happiness underscores the importance of self-care and the courage it takes to seek joy for oneself. Together, Michael and Sarah illustrate that meaningful connections and authentic relationships are the cornerstones of a fulfilling life. Their stories remind us that taking chances, embracing vulnerability, and prioritizing personal happiness are essential steps toward true emotional well-being. Ultimately, their union serves as a testament to the transformative power of love, empathy, and the profound connections that enrich our lives. Thank you for joining us on Empathy Stories. We hope Michael and Sarah's journey resonated with you and reminded you of the beauty found in genuine connections and heartfelt moments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, keep your heart open and cherish the meaningful bonds that enrich our lives.